So, last time on D&D Ascension, you all had a very sad events take place in the country of Brackmar. In the castle, Trissa had been seized and jailed, awaiting trial. It all went to talk to Ascent, and truths about your very existence, June, were laid forth before you. In a bit of your grasp on sanity, and with a push towards consciousness for the true Monica, you all were forced to suffer the madness of her presence. One of you holding on to their factory to help bring everybody back. Job phone. June, you also, in the labs of Zerascend, met some of your brothers, or as Ascent would put it, your previous failures. J33. A long line of experiments. The events in the lab, you all decided to lay down for the events of the day had become quite stressful. In the morning, you woke. You all went to go see Trissa in her cell, only to find a sad scene of Trissa carried away on a gurney, chain marks around her neck. Paranoia from the previous day still hung his mind, blaming many who worked here at prison, known as the Onyx Grasp. Nothing done. All went home. Agreed. For a few days, you all were greeted with a new face. A face that had once existed within this world for Trissa. Red hair, flashing green eyes. Face of Claire Masgard. The original wife, ex-wife, Cameron Rodaro. You all celebrated in Trissa's, or in this case, Claire's return. And in the week leading up to the current day, I would like to go to each of you to find out what you had been up to. June, can you please tell me what you, during this last week, have been up to?
I suppose I should actually hit the push to talk button.
That does help. Trust me, I got used to it too.
Yeah.
No, June, we prefer you muted.
I
Fighting
know.
words. Fighting words.
But you know what the best part about being a greater old one warlock is? I can make you listen to me whenever I want.
Damn it, you're in my head.
So, June, what
But
did
don't
you...
worry, I'm just so happy that Trissa's alive that I'm not going to torment you.
I
Be
believe...
as fun as that.
I believe you mean Claire, but yes.
Nope, I mean Trissa.
You're
She's
gonna-
always Trissa.
Okay. So what did June do the week he had off? Well, Brigsby and Professor Membrane were getting everything prepped and prepared.
Well, other than what we discussed via Facebook messages, not much. He would have, after some revisions, sent off the letter, and yeah, then it would have basically been gird up your loins like a man for Lorenzo's training. So, yeah.
And when we got done with that, being that you are just kind of starting the training, you'll be rolling just an intelligence roll with your without your proficiency. So just a straight D20 plus your intelligence.
I also did have training with the Artificers Guild on the way here.
True, but at the same time, the Dune Bullet is a one-of-a-kind thing.
Fair enough.
If you're looking to fix it, spend some time with it. Definitely
Well,
could
yeah,
change.
that was kind of the thought. It would just be, training. I figured that would be what training with Lorenzo would entail.
So you got a week, buddy. Man's been training a lifetime for this. For where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
But you can make attempts at repairing it. So, moving on. Ramiro, what did you do for the week that you had off?
Well, like we had discussed, I guess I would have been working security at the what was the name of the place again?
And guys, you can talk about as much as you want, or you can leave out as much as you want. It would be the Purple Ripple nightclub.
Purple Ripple. I was gonna say Purple Nipple, but that didn't seem.
On point.
I guarantee you, there's gonna be some purple nipples there. But go ahead. What did you do at the nightclub?
Working security as we had discussed.
Okay, and do you want to say anything beyond that?
No.
Okay. And then, Fawn, what did you do for the week?
Sorry, I was gone for a little bit. I had to answer the door.
Oh.
I left just when June was talking with Ramiro, I think, or training.
Yep, don't worry. So I want to know, what did Fawn do during his week of downtime? You can share as much as you want, or you can keep as much as you want to yourself.
Well, of what everyone would have seen, I would have retrieved the Dune bullet, brought it back to the shop. But other than that, most everyone would probably just have seen me consistently training and constantly, whenever available, challenging Ramiro and Vuntha to sparring match.
Ramiro would happily oblige.
And Vuth is just like, so you want me to punch you?
You can try.
I will punch you.
And then, Vutha, what would you have been doing? Week of downtime.
Probably working with Death Spike. Working with Fawn, apparently. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. As the week comes to a close, Grigsby and Professor Membrane approach you guys saying that the supplies are ready at the labs to be loaded up, and they would like to know what their mode of transportation will be. They will be taking a caravan with crawlers, mecha crawlers, as no one really discussed with them the mode of transportation.
Ramiro's gonna smile and just look at Fawn excited.
Crawlers. They want to take crawlers.
Personally, I'd like to take Death Spike, mix it up a little bit, but I don't have a say in this.
I mean, you can bring him.
Yes, but I would like to ride him out in the open, but it seems that's not gonna be a thing.
Maybe you can ride him while we're inside of it. That's kind of the same thing.
No, it is not.
I mean, we are going somewhere that most likely even our lovely mode of transportation probably can't go, so I imagine there will be at least some call for Death Spike.
Good. Don't want to be trapped in metal my entire life.
I like to think of it as rock that is changed. That's how I deal with it.
It's cold and unfeeling. I prefer sand. Or,
But sand is so coarse
And rough.
and it gets everywhere.
Oh, god damn. Okay.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I prefer open environments where I'm not trapped into a enclosed space.
Yeah, no, I totally know how you feel. That makes me a little uncomfortable too. Just try not to think about that, maybe.
June just kind of looks around and trying to figure out if he's the only one that's actually okay with riding this.
As you guys are talking, Membrane and I was good. I was gonna say Bigsby. God, am I saying his?
Rigsby?
Oh my god! Can't remember my own NPC's name.
Yikes.
Yeah,
I'm bad.
Brooksby B. Marrow.
I'm bad.
That's bad.
I know I'm bad. I do the boy shame.
He's such a unique character, and you forgot his name.
Yes, Brooksby. Oh, shame to the DM. Okay, Brooksby. So, Membrane and Brooksby look at you and they're like, "Oh, what shall we taking, my friends? We have science to do."
Apparently, what's known as a train that crosses sand.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Well, we'll just show you. Just around the other side of the.
My boy, that is a magnificent wonder of science. How does it move? Who's the engineer? I would love to know. I'd love to pick their brain. And does it have enough storage capacity for everything we're going to bring?
Well, we removed half the dune bullets, but that still leaves us with plenty of dune bullets. So we'll have enough room for your. You're taking 3 or 4 of your men?
Oh, don't worry, I've got a very great idea. Especially if we're going to be traveling around, the big clunky ones won't do. Oh, they won't do at all. I've got a few crates that need to be transported, but beyond that, you'll have to wait and see what I've come up with. It's quite an improvement.
Do you need any storage space, Brooksby?
Well, I'm just, I don't really need much, actually. After all, I'm just skin and bones. Without the skin.
So
Okay.
bones.
I'll still reserve at least a suitcase worth of space for you.
Thanks. So, Mr. Ramiro, what is your kink? You didn't answer me last time. I'm still quite curious. He pulls out his little black book inside his jacket.
Yeah, Ramiro's not going to say anything.
I'll get it out of you yet.
I know you're not saying anything, but I had this idea that Ramiro's into bestiality.
I can neither
That's
confirm nor
racist.
deny.
So,
I mean, he was raised by dryads, so, you know.
my question to you guys is simply, what would you guys like to get for supplies? To give you guys an idea, how many of the Dune, or not the Dune bolts, the, oh my god, today is just a day to forget names and things like that. You're not bringing any of the crawlers, but for the bikes, how many of those are you going to bring?
I would want to bring enough food for Death Spike for the trip.
One each, so if Vunta takes Death Spike, we'll have one left over just in
Well, I mean, and I would be bringing my horse as well.
two left over just in case.
So, okay, you want to bring 2 left over. Alright.
Can't forget about Crom.
And I'm assuming we'll be bringing enough food supplies for ourselves.
That can
That'd
be
be-
assumed.
And I can only assume you've gotten Crom and Death Spike a little more
Begrudgingly, yes. I have trained him to at least not go insane at the enclosed space of this train.
Who knows? He might enjoy the speed and poke his head out the window.
He's a lizard, not a dog.
Yeah.
He's a big lizard.
I have set up a bit of a bed area for him so it isn't all hard metal where he's residing.
He probably would enjoy the metal, though, especially in the desert.
Yes,
It depends on if it's actually
cannot be
cooler.
comfortable on his paws long term. Feet. Whatever you call lizard feet.
Oh, and also had Lorenzo look over the Dune Bullet and add and fix up a few provisions and things that would have been overlooked by Nefarious, like the bunk beds.
I've also taken the liberty of putting out a area for the horse so he doesn't have to put his hooves on the metal all the time.
So you want 6 of the bikes, the Dune Riders. Is that how many you want?
Well, that would be one for.
Fawn. That's how many you want?
Yeah, and then say like two of them are like stored away like a lifeboat.
Strapped to the sides, even.
Yeah.
Well, your cargo bay is going to be the only place you can actually store any of them.
I mean, like, metaphorically, not
Not a
like
metaphor. You need a lot of bungee cords for that.
Oh god, a bungee cord snap. No, the bike!
Those hurt.
Kind of like putting it up against the wall, kind of like a bicycle, kind of. If you catch where I'm coming from.
Well, you guys still would need to move them for the bunk beds then too. Come down because
the
those.
beds come out.
Yeah, they come out. So you need at least 5-foot room on the sides for that.
Yeah.
In that case, we
So maybe instead of
probably
bringing
just have
full bikes, just
Yeah.
bring parts in case, like
Yeah, instead of
tires.
2 extra bikes, why not have some extra parts that are, known for braking as extras?
Yeah.
Like gears and tires and etc.
Yeah, so essentially like some couple spare tires, some motor oil or whatever that powers them.
Fuel. We need fuel for them.
Yeah, so essentially instead of 2 bikes, the extra bits in case things break down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to. You guys can move everything here. I'll give everybody permissions on everything.
So yeah, those 2 bikes can be removed.
You guys can figure out how you want to arrange this, because one of these crates will be your guys's. However, Membrane needs the 3 that he's brought with. And remember, you can't line them up there because on the sides you have the bunk beds as well. And then to get into the ballista chairs, you'll have a bike in the way. If you're in combat, it will cause.
How do I rotate this?
You gotta click on it. Which one do you want to rotate? Ping it for me. There, that worked.
Yeah, if we can put that one here, and then we can put.
By chance, is this lower area
And then
accessible?
re-rotate that, and there we go.
Okay, so the way this is working, like this. So there's. Remember when I said there's 2 people that operate the laser? One person aims it, and one person fires. The person in the red chair will aim, and then they have a pipe that can communicate with the person down below the laser, but it's a very inefficient system with the way it's firing and aiming, because the person down below has to pull the lever to fire it. And that little tunnel kind of runs the length. So it does. The entrance is under the stairs. Right there. And you can go in it, and it's 10 feet wide. The dune bullet. That's just a ladder to get down inside. If you were to move like the pathway over, it would take up like these 2 paths right. It kind of fits in there and then extends even like farther underneath, like past where the windshield is.
So is this formation relatively good?
All right, then my question is.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
So here's the thing. As I did mention before, and I'll let you guys know, to use the laser does take up the entire tank of Eternal. So, that being said, for your bikes and the dune bullet, how many extra barrels would you guys like to purchase because those barrels will take up 2 spaces. They are more
Why would they
long
take-
than they are wide.
That's not really a barrel, though, is it?
For the amount that they would sell it for, it's not just a single barrel. I'm just using the barrel as like a denominator of how much this thing guzzles.
So I mean, what is the shape? Then what does the shape of this container look like?
The same shape as one of the bikes, essentially.
Yeah, like the barrels. That's how much you would need to fill the Dune Bullet. One of those barrels would be able to fill the bikes up, all 4 of them, multiple times.
Would that be able to fit downstairs?
Downstairs where?
In that long corridor area.
Or we can put it here. Oh, I can't pick that up.
So
We can put it here.
down, that's like the engine maintenance corridor. If you want to keep explosive materials next, and remember, Eternal is explosive as well, if detonated. It would be right next to the engine.
Well, it is where the fuel intake is.
It is. So I let you guys decide on that. I'm just reminding you because it has been a while.
Keep 1 barrel there, just so it's not as far away from the fuel intake if we need to refill.
And considering it's near the fuel intake, you'd think that it's a lot heavier armor.
Well,
I
certain
don't know if
design.
it's a good idea to
Cer-
do that, to be honest. But
The Dune Bullet is not a perfect creation. Nefarious Black was a passion project, but it's the first of its kind, so it could almost be considered the prototype, or version 1.
could we stack the fuel on top of the crates and then just tie it down with rope? Like, I can't move this thing, but that looks like
hold
it
on.
would fit on top of the crate. Like 1 for each crate, tie it down on top.
So I'm not sure how tall these crates are.
The crates are in effect 10 feet tall. They're considerable. So the top of the Dune Bullet for the cargo bay, I did come up with that. The ladder itself is 10 feet, and then the areas up above is like another 5, not a full 10, but like 5 to 8 feet, so people can walk.
Enough room to store fuel up there, though.
If you want to store them on top, yeah, you can. You guys want to optimize the vertical?
Yeah.
Because I did agree, or I did come up with the consistency for this bay, that it would be 15 feet tall. 15 to 18, whatever.
I think that's a good idea.
I'd like to think that Death Spike likes to sleep on top of one of the crates.
And then how many of these barrels would you guys like to procure?
I'm thinking maybe at least 3, maybe 4. Could we fit 4 up there?
So I will
1 per crate, yeah.
I will let you guys
Unless
know.
we want to leave a spot for Death Spike to roost.
Well,
Death
2
Spike
on
has a
2
bed
crates.
area.
Does he enjoy roosting up there?
So before you guys decide on the number of barrels you would like to let you know that the barrels do cost a significant amount of money. Each barrel,
Yeah, I'm not the one funding this expedition, though, so...
but you are the. You never discussed it, so there was no idea like how you guys were gonna get there. But always.
I mean, if
Ask-
we're supplying the ride, shouldn't they supply the gas? Isn't that how it goes?
Not necessarily if the.
Necessarily. The Dune Bullet is specifically made and ordered by Fawn. It's his own ride. Membrane was instructed and so was Brigsby, that mecha crawlers were going to be used to cross the desert. Nobody discussed with them the mode of transportation.
That's fair.
So, if you guys want to take the Dune Bullet, you can. Or you can go by the way of Caravan, which will be significantly slower. You guys got money?
Well, how much
do-
is a barrel of this stuff? Yeah.
For a barrel of that size, 500 gold.
So maybe 2 barrels?
I'll chip in 500 for one.
Fine, I'll chip in another 500.
Because at the same time, guys, actually, let me look something up. Because I might be overpriced. I don't want to.
I mean, Fawn and I are kind of the ones fawning over this thing. Pardon.
I see what you did there.
I'm just
And
currently
this is,
checking.
used to throwing money at problems.
Give me a second. I wanted to find something out. Oh, good lord. Oh. That seems absolutely ridiculous. So I wanted to see what it takes to make a spell scroll of 6th level. That's 15,000 gold. That is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, no, I'm going to stick with 500 because I honestly think you guys are getting off pretty easy on price. Yeah, so 500 gold a barrel. After all, the laser is disintegrate. 6th level spell. So how...
June and Fawn each bought one. Anybody else want to?
I mean, I can buy a part of one if someone wants to go.
Booth, looking awkwardly. Do I support the metal abominations?
Okay, so I just realized Trissa has a portrait on D&D Beyond, and it's the floaty water. You think, God, I'm jealous of you people who have that.
Wait, check yours. I think you should have gotten some.
Yeah.
I hope so. You're robbed.
Go to the side and click change frame.
Well, I would have to. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll do that for Mr. Phil another time.
Alright.
We're in this campaign right now. Yeah, no, Trissa, or I should say, not Trissa at this point. Claire doesn't have much, but Luna, being that she does want to go to, I will say this, I'll pitch in a little bit for one. I mean, after all, we're going down to the jungle for myself.
Well, if 4 of us split 500, it's 125 each.
So how many barrels do we currently have? You said one
We have
for each
2.
for June and Fawn?
June and Fawn both bought one. The guys removed
So
500
that
gold.
qualifies as this one and that one?
Yep, and you guys are tying them down to the top, so...
So you'd want 4, right?
Not necessarily. There was talk 3 or 4. I mean, we can definitely go with 3 for now. See if we burn through that.
Okay. Vutha just goes, fine, and just plops down 500 gold like it's nothing.
So that's 3. So because I'm not gonna have Luna,
We can split it 4 ways if you want. You don't have to pay the whole 500. Spending
that's
other people's gold.
I'm not gonna spend Luna's
Or
gold.
250.
But
I mean, if you want to split it, we can go.
I feel that would be like reasonable for Luna to split. Like she would do that. She would split one because it is you guys are going out of the way for her little mission.
By the way, what would be the cost of the animal feed?
I'd say for like for what you would need, that is not really too expensive. So I'd say for like what you guys are expecting of like a month of travel potentially, we'll go on the long end of it.
Yeah.
Since they would need like 1 a day, I'm gonna actually get the legit math on this.
It's 5 copper per day.
Oh, okay. If it's 5 copper per day, and let's just say 30 days in a month.
That's gold and a half.
Yeah, that's a gold and a half. Just double it to 3 gold, and you can get both the horses taken care of.
Alright, I'll just pay 3 gold. I'll just say the extra amount was for getting the bedding.
And Michelle, just to make sure, you do have the updated version of Death Spike, right?
Let me see.
Should have leather armor next to the armor class. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, let me just check on it.
It's in extras.
Yes. Yep, that's it.
Okay, so what supplies do you guys want to bring with you? Besides this, just extra rope. I'm not gonna worry about like rations and all that. That's just kind of an aspect of the game I'm not worrying about.
Miro would have taken care of that. Let's put it that way.
I mean,
He
more
stocked the
rope would
cupboards.
hurt. Yeah, there's food. Plus, you know, you can hunt on the way
In the desert.
in the woods.
After driving through the desert, we will hit wood.
Yeah, because
Right.
remember, it's a
True enough.
16-hour trip down to the jungle, and then after that, when you guys shoot up and over to the wall, that is basically the border to Tanya. That will only take you about 2 days of travel. Nothing too crazy. So I'd say for rations wise, how good of food do you want to bring with? Do you want to bring like high quality food with Fawn, or do you want to bring stuff that will last the trip? What would you imagine you'd bring?
Probably something that would last the trip, but spices and stuff to make it.
I mean, maybe just
And if we
staple.
catch stuff,
Because I
Meanwhile,
think
Luther just like,
we
wait,
could
we
take care of
can't
the
bring all the meat? What?
oh, we can find the meat.
Like I'm gonna say for a
It'll
full,
be fun.
A full month supply. This won't cost too much. The spices will be the more expensive of the purchase. Just mark off 10 gold.
It's either this or we're taking Membrane's battle. And no.
That is correct.
No offense, Membrane.
Oh, none taken. I actually find this place quite interesting. Who made this? I have quite an interest in this. I'd like to speak to them when we return.
Oh yeah, you can go ahead and speak with him.
Well, I'd like
He
to.
won't really speak with you.
I'd like to know their name. I have absolutely no idea who this wonderful machine was made by.
Barium. Black.
Tharian Black. I have absolutely no idea who he is.
That is moderately surprising. And probably a good thing. Well, when you get back, you can speak with him. Or communicate with him.
Wonderful. I look forward to it.
Why did Membrane sound southern?
Sorry. I never really settled on a voice for him.
Trying new things.
Well, let's just say when you're practicing some voices, sometimes they bleed over.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no worries. I was just like, was it just me or did he sound southern?
It's not just you.
So, with that being said, with everything loaded up, you guys ready to head out? 3 barrels of fuel. You have a full tank, I will say that, so a full tank plus the 3 for reserve. That being said, cities themselves have moved on this map, so don't worry about that. Really, the only 2 entrances, as far as the maps that you guys have, and for what you've been told, to head down to the Severed Jungle, there are 2 entrances to the plateau that the jungle sits on. Of course, one is to the far east, south of where Talshea was at one point. The other one is to the southwest, which more than likely will be your guys' direction of going. As you guys begin the 16-hour trek, I would like to know who is doing what on this trip. Who is driving, who, if anyone, is playing lookout for any monsters along the way, what you are all doing.
Yeah,
I'm
Ramiro
taking
would
care of
be.
the animals.
Okay, so hold on. We'll start at the bottom. We'll go with Vutha. Vutha, what would you be?
I am taking care of the animals so that they don't panic and that they are largely fed and cared for.
Okay. And then Fawn, what will you be doing?
For the first bit of the trip, Fawn would likely be driving, and then give or take, swapping over with June, driving roles.
Okay. So, I assume June is driving, correct? Well.
Well, yes. He's
Fawn and-
basically he spends the first bit watching Fawn steer and examining the rest of the controls and everything in the cockpit, and then taking over when Fawn takes.
Okay, so I will get back
Giving
to...
them descriptions of, all right, you want to keep an eye out for that. Even on a strider or a dune rider, you can definitely tell that is a bad.
Alright, so I will get back to you two. Fawn, or not Fawn, sorry, Ramiro, what are you going to be doing during this trip?
Probably the lookout.
Okay, for
Since...
that... Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So I would like a vehicle check for you, first Fawn, and then Ramiro, I would like a perception check as you are driving.
What proficiency are we gonna go with?
So for your vehicle proficiency, that would be, I would like your dexterity plus your proficiency. Add those together and give me a d20. Add that to it. So,
Okay, 17.
15. And then I would like a perception check from Ramiro.
Um, 17.
17. Very good.
I can also see up to a mile with no difficulty, so...
Damn. Alright, so as you guys are driving, Ramiro, you see off in the distance about... You said a mile? You can see a mile? Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's some crazy shit. So, about half a mile out, you see billows of sand, like, flying up into the air. Out at a far distance.
Okay, I would let everyone know and keep my eye on it. Is it getting closer to us? Or I would keep my eye out to see if it notices us or if it's just passing by, you know.
It does look like it's coming in your guys' directions. As you watch it for like about a couple minutes, like you see the billows of sand get larger and larger. So you know it's coming in your general direction. And for your check, Fawn, it is a solid check with a 17, you said, right?
Yeah.
You first time driving this, but being that you're used to some of the vehicles, especially the dune bikes, it's just a bigger, clunkier version of that. You do manage to, well, the rest of you are riding in back. The crates clang on the metal as they're strapped down, they move around, and the contents begin to shift a bit on the inside. And Vutha, you see one of the barrels kind of like roll forward and backwards on top of the crates, but it remains strapped down properly.
Just for... Sorry, go ahead.
I keep an eye on it, and I essentially just go, maybe more secure straps next time.
So they're secure. Because as this happens, Fawn, you crash through the edge of a dune, and the front of the dune bullet, like a bus over a ledge, holds there for a second, and then the next thing all of you see who are up in the front windshield, sand, and you just billowing through it, and you manage to hold it together and come out the other side. A little shaken up, and Vutha, You see down below, Brigsby, like, oh my, that's quite something. Uh, we're going to be alright. Right, Miss Mutha? This thing is, safe?
Honestly, I have no idea.
See that? I didn't even think that was gonna happen.
So,
Dude, that
was so cool.
that we were boned.
Well, I mean, before you said all that, I was about to say to get a better vantage point, I would have secured myself to the top of the dune bullet in my wolf form.
roll an intelligence check on that one, Earl.
14.
It would be a good vantage point, extremely dangerous. So,
Yeah.
I'll let you make the call on that one. You can try. But I'm definitely gonna make you roll strength checks, con checks, as it's a 16-hour trip, my friend.
I wouldn't be up there the whole time, but
Okay.
like go up there, I don't know, stay up there. Or go
Now, to give
wait,
you
would there be a way to like climb up and down, retrofit it with a ladder perhaps?
that design was not thought of, but you
Yeah.
could ask for a modification to the Dune Bullet when you get back. But think about this: the cockpit itself sits up about 10 to 15 feet above what is the actual ground, so you do have a bit of a height advantage when you look out the window.
Okay. Never mind then, but yeah, that's a good idea for the future. That was fun.
So that billowing smoke is still coming your way. What do you tell your driver? And it is coming from... It's coming from the south, actually, towards you guys, in the opposite direction of jungle.
Now it's on an intercept course. is what
It's
you're
like,
telling
it's
me.
pretty much on an intercept course, yep.
How far away at this point?
Probably about a third of a mile.
Right, it looks like we're gonna have some company soon. About how long would it take to get here based on its velocity?
Oh, probably with how fast it's moving, you can probably guess the next,
If one train leaves
three,
the
four,
station,
3-4 minutes. 3-4 minutes.
Right. So we have about 3 or 4 minutes before it gets here. I don't know what it is yet.
So
What was the
you,
last information or last location of the
Ma?
maw?
Nobody really tracks it because everybody just tries to stay the fuck away from it.
Well, considering how big it is, you'd think that there's just like, all right, reportings from it over in this area.
But think about it as this. As the sand sharks move through the sand, as if it was an ocean, the maw moves through it like a whale does. So it's not always going to be on the surface.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like last known reportings.
And I assume because you're a resident of Magna, so you would know to ask for that information.
Yeah, because we were going to be traveling over this. That's one of the major hazards that even the cities would keep an eye.
So I will tell you, last report that you got from Tala Upper, one of the cities when the migration was happening, actually just about 2 weeks ago, is that they had seen it to the north. And you can actually confirm it that when you guys were traveling on Tal Shea, that you guys did see it traveling to the northwest.
Well, good news, it's not the maw. Otherwise, we can either slow down, get prepared to take it out, whatever it is, or we can see if we can just plow around it, depending on the speed that it will be going.
Are we sure it's not that though?
Well,
How big is this thing?
you would know.
Well, I mean, right. Is what I'm seeing big enough to possibly be the mob? Yeah, I don't think it's big enough to be the mob. But, I mean, it's coming at us, so... Could be more of those fucking Kuthricks.
Well, for now, we're just going to take a slight detour, see if we can, if it continues on towards us.
2
if
minutes.
anything.
No, it's not changing course, Ramiro.
Yeah, I would convey that information.
I turn at a 45-degree angle around to the... At an angle.
Okay. So you're heading south. You're heading more of a western, southwest, or southeast.
I'll be right back.
We were heading straight south, correct?
You were heading more of like a southwest.
All head
We should
south.
zigzag.
Yeah, that's the idea. I kind of do light back and forths to see if it changes course.
See if it's tracking us.
Trying to intercept us.
It does not look like it is.
All right, I continue on southward to go around it. But kind of like at a decent distance to see what it is. Have a better look.
So you're gonna stay at a distance from it, but still trying to get a good look at what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is not interested in you guys, so it passes you by. And as you kind of try and stay at a distance, roll me a nature check.
Well, I got a natural 20. For a total of 24.
Shit.
I got a 7.
Yeah, Fawn, like, there seems to be something familiar about these, but you're not quite sure what it is.
Is it a Kuthric?
Not a Kruthig. Actually, Ramiro, of the many creatures you researched on your way into Magna, there's only a few that do billows of sand like that. And multiple billows means it's sand sharks. One billow like that limits it down to only one creature. The Snatcher.
A Snatcher?
In translation, graboids are Snatchers in this universe. Giant worm with more little worms inside.
Yeah, it's a good thing we avoided that. Like a tremor, it's a tremor, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tremor. I mean, they're called graboids, but yeah, same thing.
Mm-hmm. I googled it.
After a little bit, I get back in direct.
Alright, so next person to take over drive. And as you guys swap out, June, go ahead and make me. You have proficiency with land vehicles, right?
I do not. No.
He's being trained in it, though.
So I just want you to roll, because you've been studying I want you to use... Go with a dex. We'll go with a dex check. Just straight dex check for your driving. See how well you can react to this invite.
Not very well. That's a total of 5.
Ouch.
Alright?
Certainly not horrible, but certainly not great.
Okay, so...
I feel like you should drive.
So, earlier, you watched Fawn barrel through a dune, and it shook a little bit, but he was able to maintain control, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go through that dune. It's like, great, just kind of get that ride that you got before. And as you go over it, and then you're like, yeah, this feels great, and then on the other side, you expect to see sand. You see this flat rock boulder that had been covered by sand before, but because of the way the winds are blowing, you see it right down below, and you are heading directly toward it. Give me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can, at the last minute, avoid damaging the dune.
That's a 15.
So, as you see that, you react quick enough to pull off to the side, and you all just hear, like, everybody just hears this down the side of the dune bullet as you pass the rock.
I hope that buffs out.
I like to think Fawn was taking a few steps back, and then he hears that, and then slowly turns back around.
You don't know how much damage was sustained, but you definitely made contact with the rock. It wasn't a head-on impact, so that's a plus.
Well,
Calm
it's a good
down up
thing-
there. I'm trying to get the
Maybe.
animals calm. I don't need more noise.
And speaking of that
Maybe
noise,
someone else should
Butha.
drive.
Butha, as you're down below, give me an animal handling check as Deathspike and... What's the horse's name?
It's Kronk. Come on,
Kronk.
guys.
Sorry.
You hurt my
Kronk.
feelings, man.
I know, we don't use the horse that much, man. We haven't had the opportunity. Kronk, give me an animal handling check as they hear that noise and the shaking of the dune bullet, and it's like startling them.
Well, I'm
And agitating.
handling the animals. Unless
Yep.
he's taking care of it too.
No, I think he was talking to you.
I'm talking to you, Vutha,
Okay, good. I was-
because you see...
but my animal handling is 21.
Nice.
So you start seeing Deathspike and Kronk just starting to buck up. Kronk bucks up and starts neighing, and you see Deathspike kind of like frantically looking for like the way out. And when you go over to them, like simultaneously, you use your knowledge of giant lizards, and you soothe Deathspike. They begin to calm down. And when you go over to Kronk, kind of like as he comes down, you kind of grab onto the head and you like just kind of gently embrace him, kind of petting the mane, calling him shh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I like to think Kronk's kind of used to it being owned by a bear.
I mean, he's a pretty tough horse, but it's a new environment for him.
Yeah, new environment plus strange sounds. Yeah.
Who's that? Oh, okay, people are here. Oh,
So, up on deck. You're still playing Lookout, right, Ramiro?
Mm-hmm.
As
Maybe
you're
I don't know.
as you're on Lookout, I want you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
That is a 28.
Ooh,
I have a +9 on my con save.
that's pretty good. So you'll take half damage to this.
Half damage to what?
I'm gonna use a dice roller. This is too many dice.
What?
That is exactly the kind of thing you want to hear.
Goodbye, Romeo. It was nice knowing you.
Ramiro, you will take 63 points of damage, down to 62, cut in half. As in your soul and in your body, I've never felt this pain before. As cuts and old puncture marks from past and new ones begin to form on your body, literally an explosion of blood out of your body as you collapse to the floor. You still
Anime
conscious?
style.
I mean, probably not, considering if, like you said, all of the old, like it all just starts opening up. Yeah, probably not conscious.
Well, if you took 32 points of damage, I should hope you'd be able to handle that when I'm at 39 health points. Set
He said
points.
60. He said 62.
You
Six-
said
By half.
Halved.
Oh.
You forgot to have it, so you may still be alive.
You'd better still be okay.
Booth would be looking like, how weak are you?
How are
Well-
you weaker than June?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
hold on.
I
Let's keep
mean,
this, guys. Let's keep this
yeah,
going.
no.
Let's keep this going.
Still be conscious.
Ramiro,
Yeah.
you feel a presence, like tearing at your very soul, the very thing that makes you who you are, and you feel like right there in that moment, something stolen from you. Something was taken away.
Do I see anything?
You don't see anything.
I don't know what to say.
Do you at
Did
least
any
tell
of
us
us
about
see
the
this?
random spurting of blood from your body?
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck is going on right now, but something is wrong.
Luna is frantic. Luna would be frantically trying to heal you right now.
Bon has grabbed a med kit.
Is
Profusely
remembering to come
hair
over.
available for healing?
1 second. So yeah, Luna will run up to you and she will pump healing into you. I'm sorry, what was that, Vutha?
Claire. She's a heal. Claire,
And
right?
Claire, well, they would be doing the same thing as they would be up above. Ramiro, another con save.
Oh, jeez. 22.
We'll see. That is a fail. You'll take 44 points of damage as another, like, more and more cuts. Like, this in, like, as soon as Claire and Luna, like, get up to you, they start pumping into you. They close the cuts, and as they begin to close more, just more and more cuts open up.
Well, how much healing did they do?
And as they start laying into you, the cuts themselves, like, it should be almost like a quick reaction, like a Wolverine heal, but they remain open and bleeding.
Yeah, that's not good.
Give me one more con save.
19.
As a fail.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is this?
$49 points. Damage.
I mean, if I haven't gotten any substantial healing, I'm unconscious.
Has membrane got to him yet?
You'll have to
Oh,
roll
memories.
for how much the two healers do with their spells.
It's
This is plot, guys. This
It's-
is not
it's-
actually mechanical.
it's literally not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ramiro's unconscious.
Yeah, but this is cutscene stuff. We're not actually doing anything mechanically speaking at this point.
Yeah,
so
it's
just
not.
continue going.
Yep. Ramiro, as you fade into unconsciousness due to blood loss, feel parts of yourself being ripped away and other parts being left. You see a symbol. Symbol you recognize. Symbol of bazooka. Say that right? Bazooch? Say it.
Oh, I know. I don't even remember, to be honest.
So I will say this. I'll say the other name that it's known by. The Krivni Voyak symbol. The Order of the Blood Hunter. You see it fractured. You see a woman silhouetted by the moon. Long white hair and a white gown. Approached from the side, you see another woman. One whom you recognize. One whom your hate burns the hottest. As she approaches, touches the woman in white. The white of her skin, gown, turn blood red.
I don't recognize the woman in the white. Am I there? Can I, like, run at her?
You're kind of like there as an observer.
We were trying to run at her.
Don't even make contact with the ground.
Just yell in frustration.
And in the last moment, she says two words to you. Save him. And snap back to it. Cuts and bruises on your body have been healed by Claire, I'm gonna have to change that. Claire and Luna.
Am I conscious?
You are conscious.
Oh, whoa, that's that. Oh boy.
As you wake up, you see all the blood staining the upper level of the Doom Bullet. And you actually see Membrane scooping some of it up into a vial.
Well, anyways, thanks for the morphine, Ramiro. Hopefully, when Ramiro wakes up.
Oh, you should be coming around. Oh, Harry. Hello, Ramiro. I
Uh,
was just collecting a bit of your blood.
you should be careful with that. I think. I mean, what the fuck was that?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, from what everyone told me. Actually, you did not explain what exactly happened.
I don't really know what happened.
Oh, not you, them. Your friends were up here in the cockpit with you. I mean, I can see what happened. Lots of blood.
That's a lot of
Well,
blood.
from the looks of it, it seemed like magic was just not affecting you for a while. Thus, why we kind of used some morphine on you to see if you could get. Hopefully, that helped you get through the pain until the. Well, as you can see now, the healing kicked.
I mean, I think I died, and then I saw something. I don't know what that means, but it's not good.
No, I don't.
Vutha comes up to the top and says, "Okay, guys, I got the animals calm. Where do you need the mop?"
Oh, I'll take that. Thanks, Gunther.
Still on the ground in a pool of my own blood.
And on the lines of that whole dead thing, what would you say, member? Yeah, mostly dead. Not completely dead.
Mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
Does that mean you're a zombie now?
Maybe. I don't
It
feel
was all bad
enthralled to
blood.
anything, and I don't want to eat your brain.
Ramiro, you feel like there are pieces of yourself missing. Not physically, but metaphorically.
Right? Like something's missing, taken, wrong, gone. I don't know. Can I try to use my the Crimson Right?
Yeah, go ahead. What are you going to use it on?
Um,
You need to target.
myself. Well, can I turn into a bear?
How
Can
far
I
do you
try
want?
to
Yeah,
do my transformation?
how far do you want to go into your transformation?
Just the hybrid.
Yeah. As you do, feel a feral instinct like overcome you. And like you feel this like anger welling up. But your Crimson Right does not go off.
Well, I'm gonna tell everyone to get it back, and then I don't know.
So
I'll
standing
transform back and go down. What?
and as you transform, go ahead and burn a slot of rage.
Yep.
As you no longer have access to any of your blood rights. Stripped from you at the source.
I think I need to be alone for a bit.
Well, yours is available if you want to say hi to me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down there. Kind of walk shell shocked down to where the animal.
Fawn gets a vial of his blood.
And Vutha's got the mop.
Everyone's. You get some blood, and you get some blood. I feel like Oprah.
Oprah of blood.
Are we all done collecting blood? Can I clean it up now?
Oh yeah. It's just weird.
Do you want to throw it? Where do you want to toss it? Do you want to throw it out like the doors you guys use to enter it? Kind of like, airplane that shit out?
Yep. I'm essentially just using my bucket and mopping up the blood and then dumping out the side.
Cool. The Dune Bullet has 2 doors you could throw it out. Do you want to throw it out the left side or the right side?
Left.
Cool. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. As I entirely lose it. 8.
You kind of see some scuff marks on the side, but when you look out to it, you can't quite see it because of the angle of it, as the Dune Bullet is a bit bulkier on the outside than what the inside portrays it as.
It'll look good with a splash of red.
It's smaller on the outside.
I'm not TARDISing this thing.
We didn't. It's just smaller on the outside.
So, as you became conscious, Ramiro, 8 hours had passed as they were treating you and bandaging you. And you guys, for you, June, who's driving, keep a vigilant eye for any difficult terrain and decide to always now take the safer path. Because
So,
He can learn.
during that 8 hours, Ramiro would have accidentally discovered that he can now cast Speak with Animals, as he would have accidentally tried to talk to, or accidentally spoken with both Deathspike and while he was down there. Because that's a thing I can do now.
So go ahead and inform everyone mechanically changes we've made to Ramiro.
Yeah, the Blood Hunter, the old one, wasn't really working. And I felt like the more it was going, the less enjoyable it was for me. So now I am now a barbarian.
Ah,
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
do barbarians naturally learn to speak with animals?
You do if you go Path of the Totem.
Oh, okay.
So he's still beastly.
Yeah,
Right.
we have flavored it as when he transforms, when he uses a charge of rage, he goes into like a hybrid form. And
But I
we
still have the lycanthropy, so
yeah.
that's still a thing.
So be careful with that blood. That's still legit. And I will mention to Vutha, you just literally threw cursed blood out the window.
Bertha doesn't care. As far as
she doesn't know either. This is
Possibly go wrong.
this is above game time.
as far as she's concerned, she's helping.
Considering the 2 medical experts didn't know what the fuck was going on and said, yeah, just get rid of it.
Well, you guys know that. I mean, you would have known that I have or that Ramiro has lycanthropy.
Yeah, they would know that. Yeah.
It would
It's
dry
something
up before it hit the ground. Think.
So
animals in the desert.
Next time in the desert, bear sharks.
Oh my
My
god.
God, we're getting
Where
to
sand
No.
sharks?
Bear worms.
Bear worm shark.
Oof,
Worm bear shark.
that'd be scary.
God, stop giving the DM ideas.
Imagine if the maw ate that sand that with the tainted blood. Woohoo!
It would be
Imagine our
heavier.
DM if he finds it.
Well, I mean, mechanically speaking, it would only have a certain amount of time that it was still potent.
Yeah, as long as the blood is good, you know, the curse is.
Once it dries up, it's done.
Just be glad that Butha didn't attempt to lick the blood at all.
Taste it.
Alright, so back.
Bye.
Fawn
So-
pockets that in his bag of.
So, June, as you are driving up the ramp to the peninsula that leads to the Separate Jungle, as far as you following the map, roll me a perception check for anyone who's in the cockpit. This would include Luna as well. So, everybody but Ramiro, who is staying down below.
I let Ramiro take over animal duty, so
That's a 25.
25?
that is cocked.
I am too focused on driving because I got an.
Okay.
That is only 7. Lutha is more concerned with cleaning things.
Fawn has a 12. He is doing pull-ups on a random.
Where did that come from?
There's bars everywhere.
Yeah, it's very mechanical. So,
Hold on, someone walked.
Luna and Fawn, you see this. You see it intermittently as you poke your head down below to the windshield. You see something small and green coming towards the windshield as you guys get closer at a bit of an alarming rate.
There's something small and green coming.
And
Stop.
you hear a tiny voice. Ah! June, you're so focused on driving, you don't even hear this or see it.
Fawn hits the wheel to the side.
So you're gonna yank the wheel away from June?
Yeah, kind of mom turn the wheel kind of thing.
Cool. So as that
Tom,
as that happens, you guys see a parachuting goblin in a seat kind of scrape along the side of the windshield and just goes flying past you guys. And he kind of leaves like the tongue is like lolled out and he's just kind of like looking at you all on the inside and just like a bug on windshield. Gone, pulled away with the wind.
Well, that could have been worse.
Okay, did anyone else see the giant bug that just hit our window?
How fast are we going, and how fast can I fly with my broom?
Guys, we're gonna take a small break here. I'm going to go tend to baby.
Alright.
He sounds
Okay.
angry.